Short for fanatic is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-0 degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.
What's going on, sports fans? It's Josh Williams back again, back in the country with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. George, listen, it's going to take me a minute to pull myself back together from from jet lag, but
you made it, dude. I had to send you the text yesterday. I said, "Hey, Josh, you making it in today?" I know you were just like on the other side of the world not too long ago, and you said, "Of course."
I was literally a day ahead. I did Sunday twice.
That's pretty nice when you get to do that, isn't it?
It's cool. I mean, it's definitely cool when you know, for things like this where it's like, all right, I have to get rest. Mm-hmm. I did spend entirely too much time at LAX yesterday, but I'd rather spend too much time and be stress free than my plane gets delayed and I'm freaking out.
True.
At customs, like, come on.
Push it.
So, but how are you doing, man? How was your weekend?
Weekend was phenomenal. Got a chance to, on Friday night, dress up as Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Okay, that's who you were?
I'm here to solve a mystery.
That's who you were?
That's who I was.
You did have the
ascot.
The ascot.
Yes.
Oh,
you know what I realized?
Okay.
Fred is probably the most, he doesn't matter to the gang group. Him and Daphne add nothing. There's no memorable moments that you're like, oh, that one part that Fred had.
Listen.
Or that one part that Daphne had.
Well, listen. Fred always was, hey, gang, let's, like, Fred was the tether. You can't lose Fred, because then it's just Shaggy and Scooby and things start to turn a little bit dark. Because then it's like, what are they really doing in that van?
No, dude, that's what I'm wondering. They just were the eye candy, I guess, for a kid's show, which is kind of weird when you think about it.
Yes.
But he does nothing. I'm here to solve a mystery. That's all I said all night. I would go up to people, I'm here to solve a mystery. And I would like pretend to run. But other than that, then Saturday night, watched, so hard to watch football games in Hawaii. So my brother was playing against Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's not streamed anywhere. You
sure?
So the only place that it was streamed, Josh, okay, it was an app that has a 2-star rating with 37 reviews.
Oh, no.
That live streams Hawaii football games.
Yeah.
And some other Hawaiian programs. So we got to watch that game with all the Hawaii commercials. So it's like, come on down, buy a Kia, brother. Half price, half price Kia, brother. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then NFL, I stayed in bed all day. Watched it.
Fair enough. That's interesting, because Sports Surge had like reams of college football games. Like, I mean, like down to D2. That's why I'm like, you sure?
Yeah, no, trust me, they stream it, but like the place that it was on, an app with 2 stars, not good. Not a good look.
That stream is going.
That's
to fail.
Hawaii football for you.
That stream is going to fail for sure. But yeah, look, listen. You see you saw the clip to start the show. The what are we calling those? The thumbnail. Thank you, George.
Yes,
the thumbnail. And so to start off around the world in sports, we have to talk about Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury. The robbery that was witnessed around the world. I witnessed it at this right here. Mm-hmm. That image. I don't know if Tyson Fury is gonna be able to live that one down.
No, he won't.
I don't know if he's gonna be able to live that one down, bro. Because listen, I had to wake up, George, at 2 a.m. the day of my flight, because I flew back Sunday. So this came on Sunday morning in China. So first off, shout out to Google for lying and saying the daggone fight started at 2 a.m. Messed up my whole sleep pattern. I could have stayed in bed till 6.
It was the worst start to any big time fight I've ever seen in my life. Joe Tessitore, we have the Sheik in the building. Once he is seated, once your majesty is seated, we will get this show going.
Oh my God.
And it's like Joe Tessitore said that at minute 55 before the fight. He also just continued to say it until about 20 minutes before the fight. Really? And then that's when the concert started. Okay. And then it was like another 40 minutes till the fight.
Yes, no, literally. I told you I was watching. I was up early enough that I ended up watching my Canes. Miami beat Virginia, and it was like, I guess I'll just keep watching the Canes. They're still not fighting.
No, it was boring. I just had it on because like I don't want to miss this. He keeps hyping up the show. Like he literally Becky G, and we have Lil Baby in the building. Joe Tessitore announcing names, so iconic. I think though it was a tactic. I think it's a Tyson Fury boxing camp tactic where you already have Francis at a disadvantage coming into a different sport.
Yeah.
But hey, let's throw in like, you don't know when you're supposed to warm up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
like,
no, that's fair. That's fair.
There was a moment in time where Tyson Fury, when he came out to 2 songs. The first song he came out, he ran around, he did a little shadow boxing. Then they played another song and he walked out after that one. So it's just like these boxing tactics of like making sure your opponent
is off balance.
Correct.
That's
correct.
That's actually a really good.
And he got his ass whooped.
Yeah, bro, listen. So the scores, and George has the scorecard, but the scores for the fight were 95-94 Fury, 96-93 Fury, and 95-94 Ngannou. And remember this also, George, with that knockdown that we saw in a 10-point must system, is a 10-8 round. That is an automatic 10-8, which means that he already has won basically 2 rounds essentially in the scorebooks. And remember, this fight was only 10 rounds, so it's not as much. It's not as like you have enough room to really run out. You don't have as much runway to get to your decision.
Yeah,
but it was so funny because I posted right during the fight, right when he knocked him down. Remember, I want to say Francis started the fight at like plus 1,200.
I was plus 700 is where I was seeing kind of close at. It probably started at.
I think Fury was minus 12.
Yeah, Fury was minus 12, minus 14.
Francis was plus 700 or 750. Yeah, whatever. High number.
You called it, bro.
And he went from plus 750 to like plus 150 in one round.
Yep.
In that 1 10-minute burst, there had to have been $1 billion or more moved. To get that kind of movement that fast?
Yeah. Well, hear me out on this. Like the books definitely got hurt by the smart bettors that were like, holy shit, if Francis comes out, I can live bet Fury because they're not going to have him lose.
Yeah.
I can get Fury at minus 100.
Yes. And now I can hammer it.
That's where the books got hit. But a lot of people weren't thinking that. A lot of people were like, oh shit, I can hop on Francis still at good money here.
Yeah.
Plus money. It was the wrong move. But after I saw your story, I was like, yep, you're right. Boxing's so fucking scripted.
It's literally not possible that they were going to allow that fight to end outside of Fury going out on his shield. There was no way that they were possibly going to allow Francis to get that win.
Oh no.
I don't care how bad he made Fury look. I don't care that Fury was staggering around in the 8th and 9th round, which go back to the scorecard, which who gave him that round? Yeah. Homeboy, like, let me see.
Are you saying the 8th round?
It was like 8th and 9th.
The 9th round, everybody gave to Fury.
Yes. And in the 9th round, he had Fury looking bad.
Yeah.
8th round was bad too, but like the 9th round wasn't good.
I'm sick and tired of all these boxing people that commented on my reel that I made after this saying, oh, you clearly don't know what you're watching. I listen, I may not know the boxing intricacies.
Yeah.
However, I go off of eye test. I think the judges are there for that. And the eye test certainly proved that Francis Ngannou didn't get touched and Tyson Fury looked sloppy and fucking like rocked.
Tyson Fury at no point in that fight looked comfortable.
Mm-mm.
At no point did he would make a couple, 1-2s, kind of what he was using versus Deontay Wilder. But he like when it came down to it, man, he never really had Francis look wobbled. Francis was never really in trouble.
Right.
And that was I think the biggest, shock factor to me, but yeah.
I know who the world heavyweight champion of the world is, and I don't need a WBC green belt to tell me otherwise. This dude, I'm so glad that Francis is taking the step to be that world-renowned superstar.
Yeah.
He's about, I would say, 3 more major fights like this away from like cementing his name in the legacy. He'll be remembered as the Mike Tysons, or like in that same category echelon of dominant fucking heavyweights.
Yeah.
With him possibly being the most dominant.
If he can, before we get off of this, if he can have one more boxing fight versus another legit boxer like an Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder and get a win, he's probably the great one of the. He's probably that cements him as one of the greatest heavyweights. Regardless of sport in combat sports history.
The biggest fight will be John Jones and him, a PFL versus UFC heavyweight bout. Put that shit wherever the fuck you want to fight that at. It will sell the most tickets. It is way bigger than this Fury fight. Everybody knows it. And I think it's within the next 2 to 3 years, this will happen.
Wow. Well, I just feel horrible that Francis is already 37. You know what I mean? Like you forget how, just because of how great he looks and how well he moves, that you forget that he's already 37. But I think that's the only real robbery in this, is that he only has so much time, and so he has to keep moving the engine as much as he can.
True.
Moving on, George. This is our last show before the end of your bet. How are you feeling? It's tied 1-1. Game 3 tonight. Back in Arizona.
Yes.
And the next 3 games are in Arizona. So you got to try and win 2 of these if you can.
So tonight's a huge one.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So for the reasons of you just cannot fall behind after giving one up at home already.
Yeah.
John, Orlando, and I will be at game 4.
Really?
So tomorrow afternoon, John and I are flying to Arizona. And we are. He told me we were going to do this if it ended up coming out. And
how much are those tickets? I'm sure they're not crazy.
I guess I can tell a quick story here about how John knows the owner of the Rangers.
Oh, he did tell. No, John did tell me that.
Yes,
he did tell me that. Not years, but
a long time ago.
A good while ago. Yeah,
great story. I'll tell it on another day because it's kind of long. But we're gonna get tickets because of him. Fair enough. So we'll see. I don't know if that means I'm going to be owner's box. I don't know if that means I'm going to be...
We're spitting on the roof.
I don't know.
You're going to be in the building.
I'm going to be in the fucking building.
For a World Series game.
Yeah, I will definitely do some... content is in the front of my brain this trip. So I will be doing some American fan stuff.
Hey, please,
I'll do some trivia.
Yeah, please
send.
You know what I mean? Just you already know. I don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, this all happened, Josh, in the last 18 hours. So I haven't had a chance to be like, okay, Josh, hey, what should I talk about? No, I mean, we're just gonna do it.
George, you've gone to a Madison Square Garden playoff game and a World Series game in 6 months, in a 6 month span.
Hey, and they wanted me to keep teaching, bro. Get the fuck out of here, man. God damn, I would be in a class. Sit down, please. No, I'm going to write you up. Fuck that.
Screw those kids.
I'm going to the World Series, baby. And the Rangers, they've scared me the first couple of games. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks are hitting us. Our pitching is not necessarily
elite. It's not. Look, listen. Both these teams have really good pitching staffs, and that's going to be the determining factor.
Yeah.
Can you get that out? You know what I mean?
Scherzer's got to go off tonight.
And listen, it's one of his last bites of the apple, so he's going to give you a gem at some point in this series. It would be better to have it now to help push the series along. Yes. But you don't want to wait till game 6.
Oh no.
Or game 7 to be like, please, Max, when all the marbles are on.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's a stressful day.
Yeesh.
That is a stressful day. All right, George, before we move on to the NFL, I have a hot take for you.
All right.
From Lamont, the Steeler fan, who I met yesterday at LAX as I was waiting to come back home from Hong Kong. And we were talking about, Deion, we were talking about Colorado, and I was talking about how, I thought, and we had mentioned on the show before how I thought Deion was would maybe move on or maybe retire or stop coaching once Shador and Shiloh move on to the NFL or stop playing football, because he's only coached his children. He's never coached other people's kids. I mean, obviously he coaches other people's kids,
right?
He's never just coached other people's children. So when they're gone, where's the real pull to keep going, right? I was talking to a Colorado fan about it yesterday. And so Lamont had a really good thought, and he was like, please, mention me that this was mine. And I was like, oh, I got you, no problem. So Lamont said, Sean Payton's going to get fired this year.
Okay.
And Deion is going to leave and become the coach of the Broncos, stay in the state of Colorado, and they're going to draft Shador Sanders in the first round.
I like it. Fucking find a sports book to put that down right now. You will make a fortune. You're talking about winning the lottery here. It's too different, dude. College and NFL don't translate, just like how high school and college doesn't translate.
Yep.
And it's different. When you're Deion Sanders coaching college kids, you're an icon, an idol. When you're Deion Sanders coaching in the NFL,
you just coach.
Prove yourself. Especially an African-American coach, and you know how they get fucking scrutinized more than anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think it's happening, but it would be electric.
That would be insane. I'll say this. I will say this to your point as far as the coaching side of it. And we've kind of talked about this a little bit before as well. We don't know how much of an X's and O's person Deion is anyway.
Right.
We don't know.
He's a technique guy.
But what we do know is that he is a leader of men.
Yep.
He is a leader in a space. He's a very hard-nosed coach, and we know that he would hire the best at their positions, the best at, coordinators and those things. So that is the one thing I will give him in terms of if he did decide to coach in the NFL. And he would be, listen, you think he'd be buzzworthy, now? You think he's buzzworthy and has all these sayings and stuff now? Could you imagine him as an NFL coach? Oh my God. He would immediately become the biggest name coach in the NFL.
You would hear me out on this one. This is a little more realistic. I don't think Sean Payton will get fired this year, but I do know Ron Rivera will get fired. And do you see him going to possibly
going
the
to
Commanders?
DC? Man, listen.
Talk about revitalizing a team that needs it.
Oh,
He'd sell tickets.
Listen, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I can't go Deion twice in a lifetime.
I guess.
Deion looked old when he came to my Redskins, and then retired and unretired and went to the Ravens. Was looking like Jesus Christ again. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it, George. Give me EB, give me Eric Bieniemy, and I'll be cool with that.
Okay,
I'll be cool with that. You know what I mean? Also, University of Colorado. But thoughts around the NFL world, Week 8. George, Kirk Cousins tears his Achilles.
Shit, dude.
Crazy. Kirk Cousins has never really had any injuries.
He's never missed a game because of injury in his 12-year career.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
He missed one game for COVID.
Okay.
We'll forgive him.
Yeah.
But he's never missed a game for injury in his 12-year career.
Wow. I did not realize that. I mean, and you all know that I'm not the biggest Kirk Cousins fan or supporter, but listen, I do love what he has done in Minnesota. He's definitely been a very solid quarterback. I just know in the end he's going to be Kirk Cousins, but I don't want anybody to tear their Achilles. And this, George, has to be the year of the Achilles. Starting in July with my boy Jamal tearing his Achilles, Aaron Rodgers tearing his.
Yes.
Kirk Cousins.
I have a episode of Gridiron Junkies injury report that's coming out at the end of this week with the dude next door, Ron Gallagher from Maximum Velocity Physical Therapy. He had has been breaking down why he thinks this is happening. It's not a turf or grass issue. It's more so the biomechanics and how they're avoiding using stabilization exercises over strength exercises, which the NFL is pro strength exercise,
explosive,
less stabilization.
Yeah.
But he's like, you have to build yourself like a house, build the foundation first. And a lot of players, especially later in their careers, they tend to skip out on some of the most important things.
Yeah.
So we discuss it on the show. He breaks it down, but legitimately, we recorded that show before this Kirk Cousins injury.
Wow.
And it's further proof. It's another clip to add to the Rolodex of injuries. But it has been bad this year, dude.
That's crazy. That is crazy. But I think, George, the sky may be falling in the Bay. 3 straight losses by the San Francisco 49ers. Fake Kyle Shanahan, he has not been on the show, and ever since I started talking to him, they've been losing. So I think he might be looking at me like the jinx. They lost to the Browns, then they lost to the Vikings with Kirk Cousins, and now they've lost to the Bengals. This Bengals loss by far looked like the worst. And let's we've got the clip here. The Niners have dropped 3 straight. Purdy's Linsanity run is over. What's that one say, George?
Bosa has more skims ads than sacks. Debo and Trent made of glass.
Yeah. Trey Lance not there to save them. Steve Wilks' ass. And Kyle Shanahan 1-30 when trailing by 3 or more points entering the fourth quarter. And it's LeBron, weeping after the championship.
Yeah. So, to me, I was kind of a weak meme. I get it. The Niners fans are crying, but that's LeBron James' biggest moment.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, is this how Kyle Shanahan's going to be after winning his first Super Bowl? Coaches don't do that enough. Don't you feel that? After coaches win the Super Bowl, they're always super professional. You don't really see them collapse.
Man, listen, I'll tell you, the few times I've won titles as a coach, it's emotional.
You want to just fall.
It's an emotional dump. My first title, I was in, because I wanted it so bad for the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is when I was coaching I was coaching middle schoolers. And the biggest thing that I was trying to tell them, it was crazy because so when the playoffs started, every practice I wore this one jersey that I still had from a team that I was on. We went undefeated the whole season and got to the title and lost.
Oh. And
I had never won. I never won titles while I was a kid, ever. I would always get there. I took the last shot a couple times, missed, to win the game, missed. You know what I mean? All that. And so I wore the jersey for about 2 weeks during the playoffs, my first title run with these kids. And it was a reminder to not leave anything unturned. You know what I mean? Do everything you can while you're out here so you don't have this feeling. So you don't have to walk around having a jersey that means something and is like a death shroud.
Damn, dude. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100% know what you mean.
So, but yeah, it's you're 1,000% correct. Not you would be you are surprised that you don't see it more.
Yeah, Andy Reid is
yeah. Bill Parcells had that moment with his dad that one time when he won.
Yes.
Not Bill Parcells, excuse me, Bill Belichick. When him and his dad hugged and embraced and they kind of cried a little bit and they both got dumped with Gatorade. But you're right. You're 100% correct.
Yeah. I mean, just something to keep in mind. Coaches soak it in. Every camera in the world is on you at that moment. You know what I mean?
Have your moment. It's all right.
Yeah. Like a tortoise.
I can't lift my arms.
He's actually having a heart attack. He's
the John McCain joint. Remember John McCain couldn't.
Fuck.
That was too much. Will Levis, George, looked good in his first career start. 4 touchdowns, no picks, 238 yards in the big win over the Falcons. Should he have been playing the whole time?
I think so. This is classic Tennessee. This is a spot in which I'm not going to get fooled like how I got fooled by Tyson Bagent this week. I will hammer the fact that Will Levis will throw 2 interceptions next week. It's going to happen. He's proven he's a gunslinger. My God, is the NFC South just a bad division at football?
Yeah,
it's just not good. You can't let the Titans come and do this. Like it's, and they only did this because they came off a bye week,
and because they threw on the old school powder blue Houston Oilers jersey.
Just do that every week, please.
Good Lord, those things are still gorgeous.
Every week, do it.
They are still gorgeous. But yeah, so that's NFL today. We still have a lot of NBA to talk about. Still have to talk about the Western Conference, and we're going to give our picks. So we're going to jump into that because we know how long that can go. So without further ado, our NBA segment is brought to you today by our friends at Coco Love, the beverage of choice of the American Fan 365. Head over to www.cocolovewater and tap in the promo code TAF365 for your Hawaiian beach vibes. And I will crack my Coco Love.
Oh, yeah.
As we start our NBA segment, George, what are your thoughts on the whole situation with Dwight Howard?
We've discussed this before on this show, and when it popped off again, this is how I know it's hit like entertainment news when my aunt texts me. She's like, first off, she called me at like 9:00 at night, and I was like, Odie, what's going on? She's like, I just wanted to know, like, did you see what happened with Dwight Howard? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I knew, yeah, he likes doing shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, but he fucking is really bad at hiding it. He fucking is just, he's wild. So my thoughts currently are, let Dwight Howard live. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know I don't know all the facts. He could be really in the wrong here, but like, why are we like in his business?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think, I guess this is the only thing, and I've said this before. And I was saying it actually yesterday too. Once we have a star, like an actual star that comes out as gay, I think at least for that sport, the conversation shifts.
Right.
Because we've had, when you think about it, we've had second tier guys kind of at the end of their career, all of those things, people that can be marginalized. If you're a marginalized player, you can be marginalized. But the second a real star comes out, because there are some stars, I'm not going to say anything on this show because I don't want to get sued.
No, dude, I mean, but listen, it's odd, whatever. Like, it always has irked me because, like, I'm a little I'm flustered that, like, why are so many people afraid that like anybody would give a fuck? Like, you're a fucking world-renowned superstar. You know what I mean?
Well, superstars shouldn't have to care. I mean, obviously, maybe your money in the first little bit might change,
right?
Similar to Kobe when he had the rape allegations and he lost all his sponsorships, he got them all back. You know what I mean? There were some that still wouldn't touch him, but he made that money back.
Right.
I think the same thing would be for if you did come out as gay. Or anything. But yeah, it is dangerous for those that can be marginalized because just think about it. Michael Sam actually was very, very good in college. Mm-hmm. Said he was gay, dropped to whatever round, 4th, 5th, 6th round.
Did it before the draft. Then, gets cut by the Rams, plays on the Cowboys for a hot minute, gone. Mm-hmm. Never to be seen again. The guy from the Raiders, I'm blanking on his name. Nassib.
Yes, Carl Nassib. You know what I mean? Was a good player, not a great one, but a second tier guy. Comes out as gay, plays that season as gay, and then where's he at now?
Kind of falls off. I think
you understand what I'm saying?
Browns. Yeah, it
was, like you've got to be somebody that they can't do away with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if Aaron Rodgers, for instance, came out and said he was gay, I promise you, I mean, well, now he probably could be marginalized because the end of his career. But
here's the thing: everyone will be marginalized, but they just can't. I don't know necessarily fucking like fall into the play necessarily.
Yeah.
You kind of just got to say it and then just keep it pushing. Yeah. It's like when Eminem says he's gay on The Interview, the movie The Interview.
Oh.
Do you remember that part of that movie?
Yeah.
Like, that's how it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, I thought y'all always knew. I've been leaving like little gay breadcrumbs
over the years.
Over the years. I'm surprised you guys just found that out.
Oh, my gosh. That's too funny. That is too funny. I think the Grizzlies are going to be DOA George this season by the time Ja Morant gets back. They're already 0-3, and they got 22 more games to go on this Ja suspension. What are you thinking? What are you thinking as far as the Grizzlies?
The Grizzlies, my friend, are only powered by that man Ja Morant. I think, just like you had stated, they're on a slide here. They're going to continue to slide. I don't see Marcus Smart necessarily taking up that much of a role like this early on into the process.
Yeah.
But like halfway through the season, this shit could get really scary. They could make like a bubble spot and then everyone's afraid.
Oh, okay. All right. You're looking at it that way. I think if they can't keep this thing at about 500 over these 25 games, like if they can be like 12-14, something like that. Right. By the time he comes back, yeah, they could be in real trouble because Ja already gets hurt, so it's not like he's gonna come and run off 60 games.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
He
gonna get hurt in some point in that point too. So it's like, yeah, they could be in trouble.
What about your thoughts on the champions? Do you think the Nuggets go back to back this year?
I think. Well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. I think they have all the makings of going back to back. Outside of the Bucks, or after that, everybody else got warts, like real warts.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And I just realized what I missed here. I need your thoughts on the LeBron Maintenance program. So he has been staying around 28 to 30 minutes a game.
Yep.
I did see him turn it on though in that overtime loss though to the Kings. So the maintenance program only applies like when it's not like the first game of the season or whatever.
I'll say this. And Nick Young, when I was in Hong Kong, we were talking about this. They're going to put themselves in a position because I think what they're trying to do is like, yeah, see, last year it worked, and we can be the 7th seed and then slide in, and if they play games and they're back in that bubble and they're asking people to turn it on all at once again, it's very hard to catch lightning in the bottle twice, especially in the West. This isn't the East where it's like, oh, we just saw with the Heat. You know what I mean? Like you can do it in the East. It's possible. The West, it's a whole lot harder, and there's no guarantees you're going to get a favorable matchup in round 2.
Very true.
Or round 1, for that matter.
Very true.
Yeah. But, man, George, Steph is still cooking at the age of 35. You showed me this clip before we went on air, and sadly, it's at the expense of one of my proteges, Mr. Dillon Brooks, who I coached here at Findlay Prep. But he had Dillon lost in the sauce. Like, listen, he's Steph is different. He is literally different. And I'll let you go ahead and run the clip. Yeah, Macaulay Culkin look. Oh, my goodness. Catches him 3 times. 3 times, same possession. But as I was telling you before, watch Draymond Green. Go ahead and we'll keep watching. And watch Draymond on the play. Draymond tries to set the screen. He doesn't take the screen. I'm going to try. He had everyone shook. Draymond didn't know where to go. Draymond was like, I don't know if I go for a rebound. I don't know if I stay here. I don't know if I should take my man away. Like, yeah. Steph, keep doing it, man. It's insane what he's doing and what he continues to do at this age. Still shooting. So I don't know. I don't know how long he can really play because his dad played till he was 40. And
yeah, that style of play is pretty like favorable on the body too. Like he's not taking bangs and bruises. He plays on the outside.
Yeah.
And he's just so much quicker than everybody else. I think once you've had that many reps, God, you just know what's coming, right? Like you know exactly what the defender is going to do. Dillon Brooks did something new there. He added that to like Steph's memory bank. He's like, I've never seen somebody jump past me and then like do like a toe touch. Like he was like, no. It's like you're not blocking that, bro. But yeah, Steph's going to play for a very long time.
Steph is still Steph.
He'll be the all-time leading scorer, yeah?
No. I don't think he gets that far. Cause he's had lost seasons. It's the lost seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, it's the lost seasons. Now, I can't even say if he'll catch LeBron in terms of like postseason scoring. I'd have to look at it.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at it. I'll have to look at it.
He'll definitely have the best, all the 3-point records.
Oh, well, he has all those already.
Possibly percentage too.
I don't know. I feel like Steve Kerr is like 45%.
That's a lot, Steve.
Yeah. Like Steve, here, hold on, I'll tell you. Let's see here. All time 3-point percentage. Too much dead air.
Okay.
My fault.
All-time NBA leaders.
No,
obviously Steph.
Not field goals.
Steph is at 47 point. Oh, no. That was 42.8% for Steph.
Yeah, 42. So to get that up like another 3%, that ain't easy. He shoots a lot of threes.
Especially with the volume.
Yeah. I mean, Steve Kerr wasn't pulling 10 threes a game. Steve Kerr was taking 3.
Right.
Making 2.
Still a crazy percentage, though.
Steph already has he already is up 500 threes on Ray Allen now.
Wow.
That's crazy. Like, that's literally insane. Damian Lillard is James Harden. Wow, James Harden. James Harden might get Ray too. Yeah. We'll see. Probably not. His career is coming to an end. All right, George. Last week we talked about the Eastern Conference. Let's go ahead and go through the West. The aforementioned Nuggets were the number 1 seed last year, 53-29. Do you think they go up or down?
They go up.
In terms of wins.
This team is going to win a lot of games. They are flowing at full cylinders. They're going to make it back to the NBA Finals. I think that Jamal Murray this year becomes a player that everyone puts way more respect on his name.
Yes.
I don't think he's earned the respect of people. The title last year helped. This year he really goes on those Jamal Murray averaging 30 points a game type of runs.
Run. Yeah. No, I hear you. I'm still interested to see what the loss of Bruce Brown and Jeff Green looks like, over the course of the season, just because of what kind of role players they were.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Listen, Mike Malone now is a championship coach. There's something to be said about that.
Mm-hmm.
The stars, the role players on this team are now championship players. There's something about that championship medal that you start to, we talk about it with in the ring, how much better you get the second you become champ, just because the confidence level goes through the roof.
Yes.
I've done it. I can do it.
Being down in the third quarter means nothing to you.
Yeah.
We've been here plenty of times. I'm confident in our process.
I just believe.
Yep.
Simple. Next up, the team we just talked about, the Grizzlies were the 2 seed at 51-31. Where you see them going?
Way low. Yeah, I said what I had to say about Marcus Smart. He is the saddest subtraction from the Celtics from me last year. I'm like, God, man, you missing a glue player. But yeah, I think he fits that Grizzlies toughness that kind of reminds me of like a Zach Randolph, where it's just like
Zebo. Okay,
where he's just like, that's our rough and tough kind of defensive player. I don't think they've had that in previous years. It was Dillon Brooks,
Tony Allen.
But
that's like that. But since that era,
but Marcus Smart is the closest to Randolph that you'll get.
That's fair. I think definitely the Grizzlies won't be the 2 seed. And depending, like I said, depending on how how they respond during this 25-game stretch without Ja is whether they make the playoffs or not.
Yep.
So the Kings last year were the surprise. The Kings were 48-34. Do you see them going up or going down?
I love this Kings team. They're one of the fastest teams in basketball.
Yes.
I don't think there's anybody that can keep up with their pace when they really turn it on, and that includes the Warriors. I think they exposed the Warriors in that playoff series for how they were able to put up just as many points as they did. And they did the one thing that is very, very difficult, and it's to not only play like the Warriors, but play like the Warriors and be more offensively efficient.
Yes.
And so this team is terrifying. I think the Nuggets, this is their toughest competition.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to flounder at playing the Warriors in the playoffs. I think it's going to be a complete flip.
Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you. I think also the addition of JaVale McGee, because remember last year with Sabonis,
they were struggling with
Sabonis going down, they would start running into problems. So now having JaVale out there because listen, JaVale and Dwight Howard, as much as everyone talks crap about them, they were so athletically gifted that even at later ages, they're still light years past other bigs because they were that athletic. So adding him, man, yeah, it definitely does give them something extra, especially because he doesn't have to be out there for 30 minutes.
No.
He'll give you a strong 20, but that 20 you felt, you know what I'm saying?
And not saying that any team's giving them offensive pressure, we do need you to get some putbacks this time. It's like, no, big dog. You get a rebound and you kick it out to the fucking wing immediately.
Yeah.
Do not even second guess it.
Next up, the Suns, 45-37, obviously with a whole new team this year.
Yeah, I don't even know who's on the Suns.
Do you see them going up or going down?
So they do have KD?
They do have KD.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. They can have whoever else they want to around them. This is still whoever your best superstar in the league is or on your team is, that's how far you're going to go. They may have the same exact record.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
You still see them kind of middling.
It's a building process, don't you feel?
Yeah, I mean, look, listen. The trade for DeAndre Ayton brought them back some players because they had no players. It was literally the four of them, Beal, Ayton, Booker, KD, and then you're looking at the bench and there's nobody on it. So with the Ayton trade bringing some players back, it does definitely make them interesting. I think Bol Bol also makes them a little interesting as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like they're probably going to ruin him. That's why I was like, I didn't want to see him leave Orlando where he was getting good minutes.
Yeah.
He goes to Phoenix. Now you're kind of back as like a spot dude or maybe in the rotation, maybe not.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see what they do. I'm not like everyone else is seeing that they're going to be a championship contender. I don't see it.
Unless there is one player on this team that I think could change all that. Devin Booker's got to play good all year. I think Devin Booker's put together a lot of really good stretches in his career, and he has iconic, 70 points against the Celtics. He has huge moments. But KD worked best when Steph Curry was hot.
Yeah.
And I think he's got to match that level of play, and then this team could be all right,
dangerous.
I'm terrified, right?
That's fair. Clippers, George, were 44-38. What do you think?
I don't know. How many games is Kawhi Leonard going to play? This is a team that's going to just go to the playoffs again and
go out of the playoffs.
How many times do you think Steve Ballmer's gone into the locker room and said, "Come on, guys, we got to play"? And Kawhi's like, ha, 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 ha.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as much as I want to believe in the Clippers, I don't believe in the Clippers.
It's so hard.
Because you're right. They're going to be middle. They're going to be middle.
Yep.
They're gonna tease you with how great they could be, and then leave you wanting more. Sorry, Clipper Darrell, it ain't happening. Warriors 44-38, also same record as the Clippers. Do you see them going up or down with the additions of Chris Paul, Dario Saric, and Rudy Gay?
Yeah, you'd hope this team is actually, like, on paper supposed to be the number 2 seed, but this team is very similar to most teams in the NBA. They're one bad superstar injury away from a very, very cold stretch. It makes for those fun NBA graphics with Steph Curry, since Steph Curry has been out. You know what I mean? Like fucking 0-17. You already can visualize it that this is going to happen, but very tough team to play in the playoffs. If anybody can match what the Nuggets feel confidence-wise, it's them.
Yeah, I think, but the biggest issue, and you were kind of touching on this as well, is their depth. And that was what they always had in those championship runs. They had Andre Iguodala coming off the bench. They had, Sean Livingston could come off the bench and give you buckets. They had people that were champions in their role.
Yes.
Now, I don't think they have that. You lose, you trade Jordan Poole. As much as people give crap to Jordan Poole was a bucket.
Wow, what a great second option.
You know what I'm saying?
I know he wasn't getting along with him, but come on.
DiVincenzo was a really good role player last year for them. He's gone. He's in the Knicks now. They traded away all their youth. JaMychal Green left. Now James Wiseman left. So it's really, this season, I've said before, this season really relies on Kuminga. If Kuminga takes a step, the Warriors are deep. The Warriors have a chance to look good. If Kuminga's still like some games 15, some games 2, they ain't going nowhere. Next up, the Lakers at 43-39. What are you thinking?
Just give me more wins than that. I think that they need it in order for the city of Los Angeles to
keep their sanity.
Yeah, they're probably just so fed up with the fact that the bubble championship talk for the last 4 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Can LeBron do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When the city's actually there and watching. I don't know, man. He's so much fun to watch, Josh. Tell me you don't get a little bit sad every time you start seeing these highlights of LeBron now, even just still putting up fucking massive numbers.
Yeah.
I've been getting a little sad, though, because I'm like, this shit's going away, man. And fuck, it was fun to watch. But I know you hate him. But
I'm not sad. It'll be a glorious day.
Oh, my God.
Glorious day when I don't have to think about that man no more. When we can finally just be like, all right, so who was better? That man did a lot of losing. There's a lot of losses. Jordan vanquished everybody but Bird. Everybody caught these heads. Bird was the only one that slid through, but Bird also had 3 famers with him.
True.
3 additional, because Bill Walton too. So, but you know what I mean? As much as Isaiah, I used to kill Jordan. Yeah, you did. And then they swept you on the way out, and then that was the end of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't want to go on a tangent. We don't have the time. I think the Lakers, it's really going to be how they manage LeBron. If they are playing this game of, LeBron has to maximize his 28 minutes or 25 minutes, they're going to lose a lot of games. They're going to lose a lot of games. And honestly, I don't think that that's really going to be the prevention for injury that they're looking for it to be. LeBron's just at that age now. He has enough old parts that any moment that thing could just give out. It's not really so much. I think preventive maintenance, obviously, it helps, but yeah. T-Wolves, George, 42-42. Pelicans, 42-42 last year. Do you see either of those teams taking a step?
I want to see Brandon Ingram finally step up for the Pelicans and actually take that team under his guidance and direction. He's got to realize nobody else is coming there to save him. CJ McCollum, if you thought that was going to be a piece that was the cherry on top that you needed, it isn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that team goes as Brandon Ingram takes them. And I think when Brandon Ingram is playing really good, it gives me KD vibes. It always has.
Yeah.
Where it's just damn, this dude just gets a fucking bucket over anybody pretty easily.
Yeah.
And as far as the T-Wolves are concerned, Has Karl Anthony Towns left yet?
No.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I don't know. I'm over that. Karl Anthony Towns, the project's over. Stop believing in whatever process that is. Ship him out.
Yeah, that's the T-Wolves. I feel horrible for Anthony Edwards because it's going to be a rebuild with a star, basically.
Yeah.
And he's re-signed now, so it's like he ain't going nowhere. But to your point, as far as the Pels go, Zion has looked good.
Holy shit, I didn't even bring up that fucking
Yeah,
guy.
he's looked good, but the reason you didn't bring him up is because he always looks good when he plays. It's that he doesn't play. So it's like, I mean, he'll have 20. Like me and Nick Young were talking about it. When he plays, like the game that we had watched, I think he had like 28 and 15 or something like that, and it's like, good Lord. And then his like shooting percentage, he was like 12 of like 15.
Yeah,
like,
he's leading the team in points per game right now.
You know what I'm saying? So, listen, that team is a dangerous team when fully constructed.
Yeah.
When they're not fully constructed, they're in the West and things start to fall apart. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on Zion. So if Zion if you could tell me right now Zion's going to play 70 games this year, they're going to be a top 4 team.
I'll take that.
But if he doesn't, if he's down in the 30, 40, 50 range, they're going to struggle to make the playoffs.
It's wild, dude.
That's the season.
Josh, I completely forgot he played for
That's the reason why you forgot. The Thunder, 40 and 42 last year. What are you thinking with them?
This is they have the best young stars in the league. They caught fire late. Everyone was like, oh shit, the Thunder. Yeah. Is SGA really him? What people would consider him?
Yeah.
I don't know. He needs to be him like how he was at the end of last year. Davis Bertans, Victor Oladipo coming in.
Yeah.
Oladipo, is he past his prime? Like,
oh yeah. Too many injuries.
Too many, right?
Too many injuries.
He doesn't have like a bionic.
Too many leg
in him.
injuries. A lot of leg injuries. A lot of knees. A lot of joints. That stuff doesn't get better, especially when you were explosive. If you were slow, then it ain't really going. It wasn't like I lost a step.
Right.
He was explosive. That explosiveness is gone. To your point, SGA right now is already He's averaging 24 a game right now. Had a weak game versus the Nuggets with 7, so that kind of has really hurt the average. But
has Chet played at all?
Yeah.
How's he looking?
I mean, listen,
he's getting 7 rebounds a game. Look at the Twig Man. The Twig Man getting some boards in the NBA. Good on him.
Chet, I mean, listen, Chet's already averaging 15 a game, 57% from the field. I think they get to the 6th seed. I think they move up. I think they have a good year. To your point, they have the youth, so I think they move up a little bit.
I think I'm excited to see Chet Holmgren's evolution and like how Steven Adams one time had no tattoos and was skinny, and then eventually Chet Holmgren's going to be like just stacked at 270, just yadded. I have to clip this, save it in a folder for 10 years down the road. And it'll be funny.
And have a side by side, have the Chet Holmgren then and the Chet Holmgren now.
Yes.
He's looking like Birdman with spiked hair and
I love it,
neck
Josh.
tattoos.
Wasn't even thinking that crazy, but yes. Yes.
Sons of Anarchy, Chet. The Mavs, George, were 38 and 44 last year. Do you see them moving up now that Kyrie and Luka have time to really gel?
Yeah, this is a team that should take a huge step up because they they got Grant Williams, they get Steph's brother, Seth Curry, and Derrick Jones Jr., ex-Rebel, who's a high flyer. That Mavs team just was riddled with the injury of Luka Doncic last year.
Inconsistency too.
Yes. His pace of play, though, is going to be interesting to see if Kyrie molds to him or if he molds to Kyrie. Do you feel that? Like, Kyrie is like go, 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 go. And then, like, Luka's more of like a let's eat all 24 seconds of the shot clock.
Yeah. That's true.
Finding that balance and to see what pace they're going to decide to go with. Because I don't think Kyrie can necessarily play in that slow of an offense.
Yeah.
He needs he needs the speed.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I think the Mavs, they have to take a step forward. If they don't, then they're gonna have to start blowing it up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on top of already having Luka and everything. So if they're not having a good season by the All-Star break, I think you see Kyrie moved again.
God, isn't that just?
I think you have to.
Yeah,
you have to. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to, and you're gonna have to find another piece to put alongside Luka. But yeah, I think they have to move up. If they don't, heads are gonna roll. The Jazz last year were 37-45. Do you see the Jazz moving up? I'll just say my personal take. We talked about John Collins. They added John Collins. So is this the John Collins is catching oops, or is this the John Collins that wants to pick and pop? If it's the oops John Collins, they could be dangerous. Remember also last year they were a very, very good team. They were top 5 in the league before Lauri Markkanen went down. And then they started to slide and they fell apart. And they ended up being close to 500 team. If Lauri Markkanen is able to put together a full season like he was doing last year, they'll be in the playoff hunt as well.
Agreed. However, if that doesn't happen, this may be one of the worst teams in the West. And
it's fair.
You guys chose that we don't or we can't keep Donovan Mitchell, and that I don't know what they do out there in Philadelphia or in Minnesota that brainwashes these superstars to stay forever. They forgot to do that in Salt Lake City because you guys lost out on what was going to be your championship point guard.
That's fair. Trailblazers 33-49, George. No Damian Lillard.
Who the fuck is on this team?
No wins. Listen, they got Scoot, they got Malcolm Brogdon, they got DeAndre Ayton, and Robert Williams. So they got 2 former Celtics. So they could be decent.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have to reserve judgment on them. I don't know.
This is a great team to be on if you're they're all young. Let's see here. The oldest player on the roster, Malcolm Brogdon.
Dang. 28?
Yeah. No, 30.
Malcolm Brogdon's 30?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon played all 4 years at Virginia, though. So
he's 30.
He came out late. He was not a 16-year-old stud.
He's 30.
That's why he's so consistent. Shocker. Wow.
Think about it. What a thought.
Wait, Josh, huh? He stayed in college longer to work on his skills and learn an offense? What? Huh?
How to become a pro.
That's kind of crazy, right? Lost art.
Jesus.
This team, if you are just like hoping to get a huge contract in the coming years from another team acquiring you, stand out here. Like
fair.
But ticket sales should be about $10 a ticket for floor seats. It's over, bro.
Oh my God, the Rose Garden is full of weeds at this point. The Rockets, George, were 22-60 last year. They're 0-3 right now. I actually thought they were going to take a step forward this year with Dillon Brooks and Fred VanVleet and Jeff Green coming. But I don't know. I don't know. It looks bad.
Yeah, it's still a team where I'm looking for like the Thompson kid.
Yeah, I'm looking for Amen as well.
They had 2 other young studs.
They did.
Jalen Green. Jalen Green was one of them.
Yeah.
And who else?
Fuck. Why am I blanking on their roster right now?
They were like a dynamic duo together last year. Not so dynamic, but it may have been. No. I'm in.
They were dynamic light.
This team will stay right where they're at. Not any more wins than what they achieved last year. Possibly even going down. 22 wins. They may get 23.
They had 22 last year. I think the player that you were talking about, I think he's gone.
Yeah, he has to be. Yeah,
he's not on the team anymore. I know you're talking about, though.
Josh Green and...
It was Jalen Green and then...
and Josh something.
I feel like it was another J.
Yeah.
It was another J. He's not there anymore. They picked up Cam Whitmore, who looks good, but we'll see.
And then Josh, the team that everybody's wondering how this is going to work. the 15th seed, the toilet of last year. Greg Popovich has rarely ever been the toilet. 22-60 record for the Spurs. The addition of what could be the greatest player of all time.
Wow.
That's what people are saying. Listen, people of San Antonio, they're going nuts. I told them, hey, patience. Do they go up or down?
They definitely go up. How up, I don't know. But Wemby definitely is going to have us all watching and talking.
That's for sure.
And that's exciting because San Antonio hasn't had that in years.
Yeah.
So to have even the eyeballs on it. But remember, when Tim Duncan came, they were in the playoffs again. And then the next year they won the title. So I don't know if they're going to make that kind of ascent, but he's definitely going to help that team. I know we're running short on time. Who's your surprise team this year? Last year's surprise was the Kings moving from the bottom to the 3 seed. Who's your surprise?
It's not going to be much of a surprise, but they'll make a huge jump. It will be the Mavericks. Like they will outperform what they did last year because when Luka is playing, healthy, and if Kyrie can kind of find that, sometimes Josh, I wish, and I think they'll experiment with it, but they might be better off not being on the court at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing to do as a coach.
Sucks, but you do have to do it sometimes.
But just think about how now packed your roster is, and you really don't have a bad squad that you're subbing in. I do see them taking a step forward and like revitalizing Mavericks basketball a little bit. That's my surprise team. What about you?
For me, I think it's going to be the Pacers. Pacers are 3-0 right now, and Obi Toppin hasn't even really been playing. So if they actually find a way to work him into the mix and he can average 15 to 20 a game, they're going to be dynamic. I don't know if they get as high as the Kings did last year, but I think they won't be in the play-in. I feel like they'll be a 6 or a 5.
Gotcha.
So they're going to move up some more. But yeah, I think it's going to be the Pacers for me.
Got it.
What team do you think is going to suck this year?
I'm going to say, unfortunately, just based on what they did last year, I think it's going to be my Celtics.
You said that last week,
and it's a huge fucking hole to fill when you lose Robert Williams like that. That one alone was a gut punch, but then to lose Marcus Smart too, you're looking at a team that now has to get the confidence in the second squad and kind of find some interesting role players that can, do the dirty things that nobody wants to do. And those are very difficult to find. To find really rough and tough defensive players. So I think the Celtics will fail to meet the expectation of getting a 1 or 2 seed and being a dominant force in the East. Yeah.
I think let me see. For me, I think it's going to be, as we talked about, I think it's going to be the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies, this loss of Ja for a solid quarter of the season, and then on top of it, as we said, with his injury or maintenance games or whatnot, little boo-boos here and there, I think they're going to go from the 2 seed down to maybe the play-in to possibly out. And for a team that's still young but still figuring out how to win, I think that's going to be a tough pill. That's definitely going to be a tough pill to swallow. Let me see.
What rookie are you most excited to watch this year?
It's too easy to say Wemby. I'm excited to see both Scoot and then my rookie, Bilal Coulibaly, who played with Wemby on the Metropolitans in France. I'm excited to see him. He had a solid summer league, but then his preseason was pretty inspiring. Some 15 and 10 games, and I think if he can be a active defender and slasher on my team, I'm excited to see that. And I think Scoot is going to have some highlight Russell Westbrook Russell Wilson. For years I'll be happy when they both retire too. I won't have to worry about that messing that up anymore. But I think he's gonna have some Russell Westbrook type highlights this season, like big time dunks, detonating the lane.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. My favorite rookie that I'm going to see this year is Zion Williamson, playing his first full season. Is he classified? Can he win Rookie of the Year this year? Since he's going to finish and start a season, hopefully this year. If not, we'll try it again next year. He's been a rookie for 4 years in a row. And by the way, he is my favorite second-year player to become a household name because I didn't even bring him up, Josh. But what second-year player becomes a household name this year for you?
Oh, I think we talked about it earlier. I think it becomes Chet Holmgren. I think Paolo, we talked about him last week. I think Paolo has a really good second year, but Paolo's still on a bad team. Chet isn't on a bad team. He's a good player that was drafted to a mediocre team, but I feel like he's going to take a step, and if he's out there averaging about 18 points a game, people are going to start knowing who Chet Holmgren is.
Very true.
Who's the MVP this year?
I was just going to look it up right now to give you guys the numbers, but Donovan Mitchell. I want you guys to think about it. I think the situation is perfect. I laid out a very similar situation for Christian McCaffrey to win MVP this year in the NFL, but you kind of have that singular stud coming into a new location, so the headlines are reading a lot more differently. Like he's proving himself in another spot, so that's a plus. He's the only stud that will produce to that level to win that award, and I think he's going to carry the Cavs to like a fucking legendary season, and people are going to kind of have to take him into consideration. I don't know if he wins it. He may finish in the top 3, though. I think I can guarantee that.
Yeah, I think so. You're gonna be like, what? I'm gonna go with. It's a surprise like yours. I'm gonna go with De'Aaron Fox.
I love that pick. No, I love Josh. Yes,
I think the Kings. I think the Kings do it again. I think they're the 2 or the 3 seed, and now it's not like, oh, can De'Aaron Fox keep doing this? Like, because remember last year it was like he'll calm down. He's De'Aaron Fox. He's a good player, but he's not that good,
right?
I think this year he really starts to separate, and I think he has a healthy season, and I think he has a chance to do it. That's my craziness. Who is lifting the trophy for George?
And the 2024 champions of the NBA, it's going to be the Denver Nuggets again. They're going back to back. This team is terrifying. Jokic is the best player in the league.
Yeah.
And I notice how we didn't put him in that category. I think the NBA said it last year. They're like, yeah, we can't give it to you every year. So I hate this fucking constant that LeBron started with. Well, LeBron can't win the award every year, so we have to give it to somebody else. Well, like if he deserves it, he should win it. But he is the best player in the league.
Yeah.
And I think the Nuggets win it again. You?
I think the Nuggets are going to go to the finals, but I have them losing in 7 to the Milwaukee Bucks with Damian Lillard going for 50 in Game 7.
Wow.
So that's prophecy. We will revisit this if this happens. And I pray God by this point next year, George, we're at like 10,000 followers. That would be beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So then when I repost it, it's like on October 30th, 2023.
Josh called this.
Yeah, I called exactly what happened. And he'll have 48 just to spite me. Like, daggone it, I was right there. But George, did you get what I sent you on Instagram?
On Instagram.
Yeah, take a look, because I want to close the show with a bit of sadness. Have to say rest in peace to Matthew Perry, aka Chandler Bing from Friends. Friends is one of my favorite shows of all time. Chandler is definitely one of my favorite characters of all time. Matthew Perry definitely struggled with a lot of demons throughout his adult life. And, I think he was 54. So still very young, still had a lot of life to live. And just a tragedy. It's sad when people go out People go out too early. But just wanted to end the show, say thanks again for tuning in. And George, you can take us home with the Friends opening scene.
Oh, Josh, the fucking sound.
What happened to the sound?
Because if we do it, it's copyright.
Oh.
We can watch it.
We can watch it. We can still watch them by the fountains.
Always told me be this way. That'll be okay.
Always feel second gear. Oh my goodness!
I'll be there for you.
What's your favorite Chandler moment, George? Do you have a favorite Chandler moment?
I've never seen the show.
You've never? Wow, but you knew the song. That's pretty good. All right. I'll have to go. When he moved to Yemen, he took a flight to Yemen to get away from Janice. And and like Janice was like, no, I have to see you get on the plane. And like, so, cause like, he was like, he buys a ticket to Yemen. Like he just buys a ticket. He's like, I need a one-way ticket to Yemen. And he's like, that'd be $10,000. He's like, take the card. And so he's like, all right, bye, Janice. Cause Janice was his horrible girlfriend that he had off and on throughout the series. And she was like, no, I'm going to walk you to the gate. I need to see you get on the plane and say bye.
Oh
and so
God.
He's like walking into the plane with like these people from Yemen. He's like, I guess I'm going to Yemen. So that's probably one of my favorite moments. So, but thank you guys for tuning in. See you next week.